What's up, everybody? Good morning. It is Tuesday, so we've got to take a look at the youth on this Seahawks squad. And it continues to be productive. It wasn't everything that we wanted it to be this week, I think. There were some gaps, but overall, I think the young players on this team are playing very well. And there's a lot to be excited about as a Seahawks fan right now looking at these guys. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at how their performance stacks up through the first 5 games. We're looking at rookies and sophomores. Let's start with the running backs. Ken Walker started the game pretty good, and then there was like nothing going on for the rest of the game. He had the one really cool catch, but after the second quarter started, he didn't really have much to do in that game. He just kind of ran into the pile and picked up 2 yards, and that was that. On the season, of course, still being very productive, still averaging almost 5 yards per touch, becoming more and more a part of the passing attack, which is kind of cool to see. He picked up another touchdown. PFF grade fell a little bit to 75.4, but overall, this is still one of the better running backs in the league, and I'm very happy to have him. Charbonnet was a little bit of an afterthought in this game, I think would be fair to say. Maybe too much so. I don't know. I like Charbonnet, but I know Walker is a better player. And Charbonnet did have the opportunity to contribute a little bit in this game. He had a few touches. He picked up some decent gains. PFF grade fell a tiny bit, 75.6. So I I went into this season kind of expecting that Walker was going to be the far and away featured back in this offense. So this doesn't terribly surprise me, but Walker getting the ball 3 times more than 3 times as much as Charbonnet, I know that's going to rub some people the wrong way. Some people are not going to be super into that. All right, so now let's take a look at the wide receivers, and we finally had a little bit of a breakout day for JSN. Little bit of a breakout game being kind of the key word there because he didn't have a monster game or anything like that. He was good. He's up to 16 catches for 110 yards, which, I mean, that's not really going to get a lot of people super excited, but it's a step in the right direction from a guy who's been mostly invisible through the first part of the season. PFF grade went up a little bit. He had a good game. He definitely had a good game. I'm going to continue to say what I've said, though. We don't need to be forcing the ball to him. We don't need to force anything. You run your offense, and he gets the ball when he gets the ball. I think that's fair. I think that's the right way to do things. And I think that if you do that, things will go well eventually. Maybe not immediately, but they will go well eventually. So JSN takes some steps in the right direction. Still waiting for that big breakout game, but it will come. It will come. Jake Bobo had another productive game. He had a couple of catches for a good amount of yardage. Both of his catches were big, actually. One of them he drew a big penalty on. PFF grade grew to 72.8. He continues to be a meaningful part of this offense because remember, it's really with him about the run blocking. And I know run blocking as a wide receiver doesn't come into play every snap, but it comes into play often enough to where this matters. The fact that he is such a phenomenal run blocker. So good to have Jake Bobo back. Definitely some good things going here. Now we're on the offensive line. Cross was back. He had a penalty in this game and allowed 4 pressures. So his grade was not the best. It was okay. It was like 59, I think, for this game. So for the season, it's 63.2, which is okay. I'm not expecting him to set the world on fire when he's coming off a injury like that. And for all we know, the injury is still bugging him a little bit. And he's playing Trey Hendrickson. He's on the road. Da 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 da. I'm not I'm not super down on Cross, but I do expect his play to continue to elevate as the season goes on here. Um, Lucas not back. Oluwatimi didn't play. Bradford did play. He allowed some pressures, but his run blocking, after really not being graded all that well from PFF so far, was dominant, and he was our best graded player on offense. Like, and that's not me insulting him. That's not like saying, oh, he had a grade of 62, which was the best on the offense. No, his grade was really high, and he boosted his grade all the way up to 63.6. So, Bradford, there are holes there. There are issues there for sure. There are problems going on with that, with the way he's playing, but he is starting to level out. And look, if we continue to play him this year, which I don't know if we will or not, there's going to be inconsistency because he's young and inexperienced, but you see the flashes of just dominance. And that's got to be something to be excited about. Defensive line, Cam Young barely played and didn't really make an impact on this game. Still playing passable football overall. for the Seahawks on the defensive line, but no real impact here. Drake Thomas just plays a little bit on special teams, not really much of an impact at all. Boye Mafe, edge rusher, up to nine tackles. He added a sack in this game, and he was one of our highest graded PFF players. So I'm definitely going to call that a big win for Boye Mafe. And I know I say it every week, but it's true pretty much every week. He just continues to be exactly what I was hoping he was going to be coming out of college. And it's really cool seeing this process play out week to week from last year to this year, the off season, training camp, preseason, and now the actual games. He's become a really well-rounded edge player, and sooner rather than later, and I like Nwosu, but Mafe is going to be the best all-around edge player on this team. So there is a lot riding on Boye Mafe as far as this youth movement goes, but he is carrying it. He is carrying it 100%. Derek Hall didn't play that much. I think he had one tackle, 62.4 PFF grade. His PFF grade was okay, I guess. Not a big impact on this game. Not really a lot to say about it, though he played. He played. He didn't do anything over the top bad. He didn't do anything crazy good. He just played. And for a rookie, that's all you can ask for sometimes. Cornerback. So Tariq Woolen had a rough day. His PFF grade got docked significantly. He gave up the 2 touchdowns. But if you really look at it, I don't think he played that badly. The touchdowns were both short touchdowns. It's not like he got beat over the top deep. He gave up the one kind of sort of deep shot to Chase where Chase pushed off. He did have a pass breakup in this game. I think some of the things being said about Woolen today are a little over the top. I don't think he played a bad game. He probably played the most noticeably bad game of anybody on defense, but that's a testament to how good our defense played. Witherspoon, on the other hand, I mean, we are watching. Off the top of my head, I'd have to actually do some research because I don't know off the top of my head who to compare him to or how to compare him. But the first 4 games of Witherspoon's NFL career have got to be up there with any cornerback in NFL history for just all-around excellence. He's tackling, he's hitting, he's covering. He gave up nothing to Jamar Chase when the 2 were in coverage. He had 3 pass breakups, including one with the back of his helmet. He is playing all-around dominant football. I mean, keep this in mind. I know Richard Sherman doesn't really qualify on the same level because Richard Sherman was a 5th-round pick, but Richard Sherman barely saw the field until later in the year. Richard Sherman barely saw the field until, game 7, game 8? And Witherspoon missed the whole offseason. How is he this good this quickly? This is insane. So, yeah, Witherspoon's PFF grade up to 84.4. Among rookies that have played 200 snaps or more on defense, he is the highest graded by a pretty wide margin. He is every bit the player we thought we were getting in the draft and more. Kobe Bryant didn't play. Hugh Blue Kelly didn't play. Jarek Reed played on special teams. His PFF grade for special teams is still excellent, by the way. 81.8. So, really good stuff there. But no tackles or anything like that. And that's really about it for the young guys. That's really all I got to say. Obviously, we want to see the big plays start for Woolen sooner rather than later. People are going to lose patience on the fact that he has 0 interceptions after 5 games. I think they're going to come. I think that's something that's sporadic. It can't be counted on from week to week, but it does come eventually. And yeah, that's really all I got to say about this one. See you guys later. Go Hawks.